Hello everyone and welcome to another Modswell video. I'm your host Maxwell. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different, mostly because I've been superbly busy all week, so I wanted to find something that might be a little bit quicker to make, and with that in mind, I decided to take a peep at Beyond Reach. Just so you know, I write certain parts of the script before recording, and I may have spoken too soon when I said this could be quicker. I'm going to read this next part from the mod page, as it's the author Razorkid's overview of the mod. The Reach, a land of grey skies with no respite beneath them, where the soil is drenched with the tears of Kinnereth and the love of Mara has little haven, where a pox ravages the land to the west and threatens to spill further to endanger the whole of Tamriel. Take your adventures beyond Markarth to encounter a new, spiteful realm, full with danger, and the shelter you find isn't free from the horrors outside. Is this despair caused by the people, or by some force that lurks beyond the ether? Do the witchmen act on their own behalf, or are they puppets of something more sinister? These questions will be found out as you trek your way across quagmires, cliff faces, dense valleys, and the bitter cold. This all sounds pretty spicy, right? But what exactly does it mean? What's involved, and should you even download this mod? Hopefully these questions will be answered in this video. Beyond Reach is a DLC sized mod which takes part in the east of High Rock, commonly referred to as the Reach. It features brand new armour, weapons, spells, factions, and questing across an area the size of 3 Skyrim holds, which is all pretty great, right? But the way it's been done is the true star of the show. The factions feel complete with custom voiced NPCs that breathe life into the area. Even the standard non-quest, inconsequential NPCs feel better than their vanilla counterparts, although that isn't very hard, but it's still good to see. With this mod, we gain access to 28 new quests, including an overarching main goal that fits in perfectly with the base game. The questing overall is fairly similar to what you'd expect in any Bethesda game, however, the new areas are really fun to explore. Speaking of exploration, we also get 25 new dungeons across this fairly expansive area. This means we can dive into potentially deadly situations, all in the name of shiny new loot. What's great is the new dungeons come in just about every shape and size, meaning there is definitely something in this for you. To start your new adventure, you'll have to head over to any of the main cities after reaching level 5. Whilst in the city, look around for a priest and her protection. It won't be hard, they will practically just approach you. These will be the ones who send you on your first steps into this new realm. A brief trip across Markarth to speak to another NPC and boom, we're in a brand new land. Well, actually there are a few really small options that you can take before starting, such as skipping the intro, and even the ability to remove some of the more explicit content, and believe me, there is a fair amount of that on show. Once all that is completed, however, you are free to continue on this new mission. Alternatively, go on a huge exploration of all that is new. I think you probably know which one of these options I chose. I will cover the elephant in the room here. This mod requires 2 files. The main, aka Part 1, which is 929.3 megabytes and contains pretty much all of the mod. Part 2 contains voice work for the NPCs, which is going to be a further 298.1 megabytes. And from all accounts, you can run this with just Part 1, however I haven't tested this yet, largely because I wanted to experience the entire mod for the first time as it was intended. I would also suggest that while saving 300 megabytes is fantastic, doing so won't give you the best experience, so that is totally down to you. I do know it's tricky to find room for 1.2 gigabytes worth of mod, but these DLC sized ones are arguably the best way to spend your 5 gigabytes, assuming you're on console of course. This is a total non-issue for PC users. Although a bonus for us console people is this is a master file and will just bounce to the top of your order, effectively removing all thinking from the process, which I'm always happy about. Naturally, I'm going to draw comparisons with the likes of Bruma and Worm's Tooth when it comes to a mod like this. I've chosen those as they are, in my opinion, the most professionally made DLC mods that I have played on. When stacked up against Bruma, Beyond Reach actually holds up. Bruma may be larger, and it may have more polish on it too, with all the NPCs being perfectly written and performed. However, the Reach is no slouch. A huge new map and enough new content to keep you going for a few days to a week. It actually has some things that work better than Bruma too. The cost is nearly half, and where Bruma fails in not having a main quest, Beyond Reach has no such problems. Design wise, they are quite different too, with Bruma being more high fantasy and the Reach looking more gothic. I would put this mod closer to Worm's Tooth, with the weather and lighting being the stars of the show, although that isn't to say they don't use their own custom assets for design purpose. But both Worm's Tooth and the Reach are more subtle than Bruma, which is basically just entirely custom assets, hence the huge cost. Against Worm's Tooth, Reach again feels slightly less polished, but this time Worm's Tooth actually costs less too. In fact, nearly a quarter of the data. Whilst I've had a few weeks to play this DLC mod, I can honestly say this one allows for a more discovery-based style of play. Bruma and Worm's Tooth basically just thrust new items into your hand at every opportunity. Reach makes you work for them. You want that new item, you need a quest to explore, you need to battle, gain reputation across the land. This is an area that I actually think this mod does extremely well on. I suppose that might be more important to someone like me who plays very often. To someone who doesn't, you still have a lot to explore in this game. I will say this mod has somewhat invigorated my desire to open every container, loot every character and explore dungeons with a fine-tooth comb. This is something that DLC mods do best, and Beyond Reach totally shines over the other main contenders in this aspect. I will say Worm's Tooth has resonated very well with me since its release, and goes down as my first round pick for a DLC mod. But much like Bruma, this is a treat mod. If you have the room in an order one day, don't overlook it, because the new content is well made and really fun to play. Getting away from all the usual haunts is easily one of the best ways to enjoy the game 10 years on, so treat yourself and play, honestly, all of these DLCs, but genuinely, don't miss out on this one. I've said it before and I will say it again, it's really hard to cover this style of mod given time restraints and a strong desire to not spoil things for the players. But what I can say is I've really enjoyed taking a dive into a mod like this again, so if you see one pop up that you want the lowdown on, then please do let me know in the comments. I'm currently sorting out a streaming computer, so I can do a little bit more for the subscribers. I think a dive into each DLC mod could be a really fun way to start that off. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. But on that request, I am going to call it. As per usual, I've left the links to the mods on PC as well as Xbox in the description below. There are also links to useful resources such as my Discord, the Skyrim XBOX mod subreddit, and all of my load orders. On top of these, I've also left a link to my Buy Me a Coffee page, which is basically just friendly Patreon. Again, no pressure for donations, just know they all go back into the videos. If this has been helpful, I would really appreciate those likes, comments, and of course subscriptions. They really do help me push my work out further. But either way, thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.